Hey guys, Andrew at CPR Instructor Affiliates. Today we're going to be talking about the salary for an ACLS instructor. Before we jump into that though, please make sure you go and like and subscribe to this channel so you can get more content related to the CPR instructor community and how to run and grow a successful CPR business. If you're a paramedic or you are in the healthcare field and you're interested in becoming an ACLS instructor to kind of supplement some income, or maybe you want to get out of bedside care altogether and make this a full-time gig, we're going to discuss, whether that's something that is reality and what you can expect to make if you go that route. So, if you look on ZipRecruiter, you'll find that an ACLS instructor is making $54,000 a year. Those numbers are probably skewed. That's probably not just teaching ACLS alone. It's probably teaching BLS, ACLS, PALS, and that's probably somebody who works for a hospital system or maybe a college, and that's their full-time job is clinical education. That's not taking into account people that are wanting to go into business for themselves and start their own training company. So don't let that kind of sway you or lead you to believe that you can immediately just replace your income, because that's not quite the case. Before we get into the salary portion though, let's just cover what it takes to become an ACLS instructor. There's a lot of misinformation about that. You don't need to be a BLS instructor first in order to become an ACLS instructor, although that would be helpful for a couple reasons. One, it gives you a little bit more context and deeper knowledge and understanding of BLS and the BLS curriculum, which then the ACLS builds on top of that. It also just makes sense because to be a standalone ACLS instructor, you're not going to be able to make enough money to live on. You really need to be able to supplement with other disciplines. So, but that's number one. You don't need to, there's no prerequisite. The only thing that is required is that you already be an ACLS provider. You take an online course, and then you go and take an in-person class, and then you'll get monitored teaching your first class, and then you're signed off and you're an official ACLS instructor. So that's the process to become an instructor, and that process looks the same for any discipline. But is it realistic to make this your full-time job? No, I don't think so. It's a very difficult industry that takes time to build up clientele, to build up awareness for your business. If you're wanting to do this just to supplement your income, that would be great. That's perfect, and you're going to get a few extra $100 a week, a month, and that can be great. You're not going to be killing it right out of the gate. That's why if you're wanting to actually make this something where you can make some good side money or even make this your full-time gig, I said earlier you need to supplement with other disciplines. So ACLS instructor on its own is not enough. You should be considering getting your PALS instructor. You should be considering getting your BLS instructor. You maybe should be considering selling AEDs and things of that nature. There's a lot of other topics that we cover in other videos about how you can supplement your income and how to build successful models if you're wanting to really dive into this. Also, just be aware too that if you're not in the healthcare field, you probably shouldn't be considering becoming an ACLS instructor to begin with. It's not really meant for non-healthcare people. There are those who will try to make a case and say that, oh yeah, it's technically legal for a non-healthcare provider to be an ACLS instructor, but it's definitely frowned upon, number one, and number two, you're just going to get eaten up alive. The knowledge that you need to have and the background and experience teaching an ACLS instructor class really can't be replicated by somebody who doesn't have that experience. And when you get yourself in front of a bunch of doctors and ER nurses, you're going to get eaten alive by them with questions and criticism because you're not going to be able to answer their questions. You're not going to be able to stand your ground when they challenge you on certain things. So this is really primarily intended for the medical field folks. But anyway, that's what you can expect. I would say if I had to give a hard number on how much, maybe you could probably make somewhere between $500 to a couple thousand a month fairly easily without having to put a ton of effort in. It might take you a few months to build up to that, but that's what you're looking at. And if you want to find out more information, we've written an article about the ACLS instructor salary. We'll link to it in the description below. And again, if you have questions, we'd be happy to answer any specific questions you have. Feel free to drop us a comment or let us know what you think. If you think that medical people only should be ACLS instructors, or if you think anybody is capable of that. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts. Again, thanks for watching. This is Andrew at CPR Instructor Affiliates.